Welcome back, Super Friends. Today we are going to be reviewing our metric conversions before our big test for the unit. You'll need your math notebook or folder, pencil to write with, and don't forget that super brain of yours. Stay tuned for the video. All right, Super Friends, we are going to be doing a conversion review. Our test is coming up very soon, and I want us to get a lot of practice in so that we're not confused or surprised when we get to our test. So everything that we're going to do today is going to be stuff that we already learned. It's just some of these questions might combine everything so that we have to put it together. Obviously, feel free to pause the video as you need to copy down so that you have all your notes ready. If you don't do well on your test, it's probably because you didn't have your notes or you didn't solve your problems out on paper. So let's get started. First example says, Daniel uses 5 kilograms of flour to bake a large cake and 2.4 kilograms of flour to bake a medium cake. How many more grams of flour does he use to bake a large cake than a medium cake? All right, so I'm going to put a box around what's important, which is at 5 kilograms for the large cake, 2.4 kilograms for the medium cake. Then the question says, how many more grams of flour? So because it's saying how many more, that means I'm subtracting. And then our answer says grams. So that means that my answer needs to be in grams. Are any of these in grams? No, they're in kilograms. So what that means is that we are going to have to take them from our kilograms and turn them into grams. What I think we should do first, since they're both the same units of measurement, they're both in kilograms, I would say subtract first and then convert it into grams because that would be easier for us. So let's start our subtracting first. We're going to subtract first. So I'm going to take my 5 kilograms, and minus my 2.4 kilograms. Now, what do I need to put on top of my 4? I need to put a 0, and then I need to put a decimal point there so that we know what we're doing. Okay, now we're going to start subtracting. 0 minus 4 I cannot do, so I have to borrow from the 5. That 5 turns into a 4. Now I have to regroup what I borrowed onto that 0, so now that it says a 10. I'll rewrite it. This is a 10 now. So 10 minus 4 equals 6. Bring down the decimal point. And then 4 minus 2 equals 2. So now our kilograms are 2.6 kilograms. That's what we're dealing with. And now we have to turn those kilograms into grams. Let's look at our chart to see what we know about kilograms and grams. So far it's looking good because if you see the answers, it says 260, 2,600, 26, 26,000. So we know that our 2.6 is good. We just have to convert it the right way. So looking at my chart, I see 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So that means that I'm going to go from big to small, which means I'm multiplying, and I'm going to multiply by the 1,000. So I'm doing that 2.6 kilograms times 1,000. 2.6 times 1,000. All right, let's start moving our decimal point. Remember when we multiply, we move the decimal point to the right 3 times. So let me rewrite this number so I have enough space. 1, 2, 3. I put the decimal point here. What do I put in these 2 blanks? Zeros. So now my answer is what? 2,000 kilograms, or sorry, 2,000 grams. Miss Joyce, what happened to the decimal point? It's right here. You can just say that the decimal point's there. But if we look at our answer, does it show us a decimal point? No, but it doesn't mean that our answer is anything different. It's the same. It's just 2,600. So what option is that? B. All right, so far this one was pretty simple. We subtracted first, then we converted last. Let's go on to example number 2. Example number 2 says select all the measurements that are equivalent to 4 cups. So this one looks pretty simple. What I would do, seeing as they go from quart to gallon to pints, I would just write down our notes from our chart about cups. So I would write down our notes that we have in our chart about cups and then go from there. But since I see gallon here, and I know that's the biggest measurement when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to capacity, I'm going to write that down first. So let's see what it says about gallons. Oh, thank goodness Miss Choice made us write down all those notes about gallons. I see 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, equals 8 pints, equals 16 cups, equals 128 ounces. All right, so let's go ahead and write all of that down right here. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts equals 8 pints equals 16 cups equals 128 ounces. All right, and then we'll go from there. So let's see, it says half of a quart. Oh, we're looking for 4 cups. All right, so looking at all of this, we see for our cups, we have 16 cups. How do we get this to turn into 4 cups? What do we have to do? Obviously, divide by 4 cups, because 16 divided by 4 equals 4 cups. Ms. Joyce, how did you know that? 16 divided by 4. I don't know. I know my 4 facts, so that helped me. So if I divide this by 4, everything else gets divided by 4. That little fraction bar means divide. So I'm going to divide by 4 cups, divide by 4 cups, and then divide this by 4 cups. And then we'll see if our answers are there, right? So 16 cups divided by 4 cups equals 4 cups. We already have that. 8 pints divided by 4 cups equals how many pints? 2 pints. Because that goes to this. And then 4 quarts divided by 4 cups equals what? 4 divided by 4 equals 1 quart. Okay. And then 1 gallon divided by 4 quarts equals a fraction, and that's 1/4. That's 1/4 gallon. I'm going to keep that there since I ran out of space. And then this last one over here, 128 ounces. I'm going to put it in a house really quick so that I can easily divide. 4 goes into 12 3 times. Subtract that out. Get 0. Bring down the 8. 4 goes into 8 2 times. So our answer is 32 ounces here. 32 ounces. All right, so that was basically the whole problem. I just had to convert all of these things over. And I wrote it like that because that's how I had it in my chart. Now we need to see which ones of these can we circle. Can we bubble in A? It says half of a quart. No, because our answer that we got was 1 quart. So no to A. B says half of a pint, but our answer was 2 pints. So no to B. Okay, 2 pints. Oh yeah, there's our answer. So let's bubble that in. C. And then D says 1/4. If we see over here 1/4 of a gallon, that's true. So yes, we want it. 1 quart, we did have that here. So let's bubble that in. And then half of a gallon, no, because we already had the gallon. So far our answers are C, D, and E. And that's what we got from dividing out what they wanted. All right, let's go to example 3. All right, Michael built a wall that is 49 inches tall. Jenny built a wall that is 7 inches taller than Michael's wall. How tall is Jenny's wall? Okay. I think that's pretty simple. All right, looking at our answer though, our answer is converted into feet. Looking at the A, B, C, and D, I see feet in inches, whereas in my problem, I only see inches. So what I'll do first, I know it's just saying that Jenny built the 7 inches plus whatever Michael built. So we're going to get Jenny's total inches, and then we'll convert those inches into feet. So let's do that. So Jenny equals 7 inches plus 49 inches, which that equals, if you don't know it in your head, that is going to be 16, regroup, 54. I meant, sorry, 56 inches. So we have 56 inches here, and then we have to turn these inches into what? We want feet. So let's turn them into feet. What do I know about inches and feet? I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So since I'm going from small to big, that means I divide. I'm going to be dividing 56 inches by the 12 inches in 1 foot. All right, let's start with our house. 56, 12, do my 12s facts. I know 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. I'm going to stop there because the biggest one I can do is 4. 4 times 12 is 48. Subtract it out. Borrow, regroup. 16 minus 8 is 8. That is my remainder. So it's going to be 4 feet and 8 inches. So which option shows us that? It looks like option C. Shows us our 4 feet, 8 inches. And I'll rewrite that out so we could see. And that's 8 inches. All right, let's go to example 4. All right, select all the equations that are true. So looking at these, we need to make sure that we're going the right direction, and we need to make sure that we are moving the decimal however we need to move it, and make sure that each of these are correct. So basically what I would be doing is for each of these, checking my chart to make sure I know how much to divide by or to multiply by. And that's how we'll do it. So starting at A says 5 meters equals 500 centimeters. I know in my chart it's going to tell me 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So let me go back and look. 1 meter, yep, I see it here. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So I'm going to take that information, and I see I'm going from big to small, so that means I'm going to multiply. So let's make sure if I multiply by 100 that I get the correct answer. So let's go back down. So this should say 5 times 100 equals what? 500. And is that true? Yes, it is. So A is true. All right, looking at kilometers and meters. I know for myself, because we practice this for weeks on end, I know that 1 kilometer or 1 kilo equals 1,000 units or 1,000 meters. So if you do look in your chart, you'll note that you see 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. It will be there. So what that means is I'm going from big to small. So that means I multiply. What am I multiplying by? I'm multiplying 3.2 times 1,000, and then see what that gives me. So I'm going to move my decimal point to the right 3 times. 1, 2, 3. What do I put here? Zeros. So what does that look like? It looks like 3200 decimal point, which is what this looks like. B is correct. That's going to be this. That's correct. All right, now going from centimeters to millimeters. I know that centimeter or centi and milli are right next door to each other. So that means if I'm starting at centi and I'm going to milli, I'm going from big to small, which means I multiply. And I would be multiplying 500 times 10 since they're right next door. But if we don't know that, let's look at our chart to see. All right, so looking at our millimeters. So it doesn't show us this information in this chart, but if we go to our other chart that has the little King Henry died drinking, whatever that thing is called, usually drinking. King Henry died usually drinking chocolate milk. So the chocolate and the milk are right next to each other, and the chocolate means centi, the milk means milli. So since that's the case, I know that it would be times 10. And if I equal that out, what does that look like? It looks like 500 with a 0 attached, because that's what I would be doing. Does this answer look like 5,000? No. No, it does not. So that won't work for us. Let's go to D. All right, again, centi to milli. That means we are moving over by 1. So that means we're going to do the 4.8 times 10. That means I move my decimal point 1 place to the right, so that number would look like 48. And does this look like 48? Yes, it does. So that's what we want. Then again, in this case, we're going from meters to centimeters. That means that in 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So I'm going from big to small. That means I'm doing 58 times 100. That would have a 58 with 2 zeros. Is that what my answer shows us here? No, it is not. So E, I do not want. Lastly, I have 625 millimeters equals 6.25 centimeters. This time I'm going from milk to chocolate. That means I'm dividing. I'm still dividing by 10, but I start with this number. So 625 divided by 10. I put the decimal at the end and I move it backwards one place. So my answer is going to be 62.5. And that's exactly what I got here. So that is a yes. So far, these are the ones that we want: A, B, D, and F. All right, use these notes to help you with your questions.